other MPs, specifically front benchers, have expressed concerns over the Liberal Party's position on the Voice.
Well, I think it's an important point to make that Julian's position in this is pretty unique. Julian has a history. He'd worked, as you know, with Pearson and others in years past about the design of a Voice. As he pointed out today, he set up an organisation which was designed to bring people together around constitutional change. He has a view in relation to it being in the Constitution. He's worried about the words, as he pointed out today. He's campaigning now to see the Prime Minister change the words. The PM's changed the words 3 times already, or twice from the original version, so there are 3 forms of words out there. And that's what Julian's doing, but he comes at it from a unique perspective. And I've worked very closely with him. I've visited Indigenous communities with Julian. He has an incredible empathy, a desire just to help people, and he's a dear friend. And I not only thank him for his service on the front bench to our party, but I'm very pleased that he's going to continue to fight for our cause because he's been a lifelong believer in the values of the Liberal Party and he's living them.
What in Mr Leese's argument was not able to convince you?
Well, as he says, it's that he's at odds with the overwhelming majority of the Liberal Party party room. Now, if he was in the Labor Party and he had this difference of opinion, he would have to resign from the party. In the Liberal Party room, we have the ability for him to have a point of difference, but where you have cabinet solidarity or shadow cabinet solidarity, that precludes you from heading off in a different direction than the decision that the shadow cabinet's taken. That's the history of the Liberal Party, and it's a very proud one. In the Labor Party, they suppress that sort of individualism, and in the Liberal Party, we believe very strongly in it. And Julian had a view about the Voice being enshrined in the Constitution, and we're on the same page in terms of a local and regional voice. Remember, the Prime Minister told you right at the start of this debate when he made the announcement of the words, the first version of the words at Garma. Remember, he said to you on many occasions, just if you want the detail, go and have a look at the Carmel Langton report. Right, that was the report that was set up. It was a bipartisan approach to it, but since May of last year, the Prime Minister hasn't involved us in those tangible discussions. And in Carmel Langton, that the Prime Minister made multiple references to, it talks there about having a local and regional arrangement before you go to a national voice. We have agreed with that position. The Prime Minister is now at odds with that advice, and that's why we believe our model has a great chance and a much better chance of providing support to Indigenous people in communities like Alice Springs. And it doesn't change our system of government as we know it. The Canberra Voice has the ability to lobby the Reserve Bank in relation to interest rates. The Canberra Voice has the ability to lobby every government department, every minister, on every issue. Cabinet papers will be contemplated by the Voice. Let's be very clear about it. That is a very significant change to our government. And we think it is a much more prudent approach to have constitutional recognition, which is what we've proposed, to have an arrangement where you can hear from those local and regional people about issues that directly affect them, their kids, their community, and that you have an arrangement of the local and regional bodies which are in legislation specifically excluding a national voice from having a say in matters like defence. So I think that is the more prudent approach, and I'm confident that as the year goes on, the Australian public will be asking more questions and more concerns will be raised. But the Prime Minister's taken a view not to answer those reasonable questions, just to shout at people that if they don't agree with him, that they're hard-hearted or racist. It's a complete nonsense, and it's an affront, I think, to millions of Australians.